Hello, you're listening to a preview of a premium episode of Blocked and Reported. This one is about a lot of trans stuff. No other way to describe it than that. It's focusing on some articles I wrote in the Dispatch and the New York Times recently, as well as some new polling on trans issues. So if you want to hear the whole thing, go to blockedandreported.org and become a premium subscriber. Best deal in media. Enjoy the preview.
Jesse, so I see you were one of the few survivors of the Tahoe mountain dump, snow dump.
Well, at this place called Castle Peak, 9 backcountry skiers were killed in an avalanche. It's just horrible. I drove during like a gap, and then after the main storm, there was just like casually another, like, depending on elevation, like 2 to 3 more feet of snow. It's insane. It's levels of, I mean, right now the Northeast is getting hammered by like a foot or two, but they do it different up there, Katie. You've lived in this part of the country for a while. Like, bad weather here is very different from it is back east. Well, although you also, actually, I say that, your whole state got flooded away at one point. So I guess it's bad everywhere.
It is. It does seem to be bad everywhere. And you just did some rationalist conference was it at Ayla's bunkhouse? Where was it?
No, none of that is true. Stop spreading rumors.
Why are you wearing the robe?
That's just a us thing. I went to a thing called Foo Camp. I don't think this is like secret. If you Google it, it pops up. It's just, I don't...
Camp? F-U?
F-O-O. There's no way to describe... It's wonderful, but there's no way to describe it that won't make me sound even douchier than people already think I am. Okay. I'll say something. You rate it on a scale of 1 to 5, where 5 is douchiest. Okay,
all right. So our scale is going to be like, let's say, who's the anti-douche?
Who's the least douchey person?
Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking to Elon. Although I guess Stephen Hawking did leave his wife late in life. I don't think Joe Biden is a douche. Al Gore?
That doesn't seem right. I was going to say Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd to me is just the nicest gentleman ever.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Okay, that's a 1.
Very generous with his friends.
Okay, 1 is Jeffrey Epstein. 5 is like a really bad person like Elon Musk. Okay, so I'll say, yeah. Katie, it wasn't a conference, it was an unconference.
You are in Elon Musk territory right here.
It was just an interesting group of people, and like we sort of form our own panels, and it's like very intentionally unstructured, a lot going on at once, and it was really fun. Also, a friend of the podcast, Helen Lewis, was there.
And how was the food?
The food was good. It was in the cafeteria of a tech company, but so it's like good cafeteria food.
Was it X?
I'm not giving you any details. I don't even know exactly what I'm supposed to say, but the thing itself is not a secret.
How come I wasn't invited?
Because you're antisocial and no one likes you, probably. You could get invited. Helen did a thing. I did a thing on like misinformation discourse. Helen did a thing on GLP-1s because she got in sort of an argument with this like food expert guy about GLP-1s, but
really?
It was very interesting.
Wait, is she pro GLP-1 or anti GLP-1?
She was pro, and he wasn't exactly anti, but he was making the point like that it's sort of a band-aid, and that if we don't fix that's sort of my argument. Like if we don't fix our food systems and our habits, and if we don't cook more at home, but it's like, again, so what? If it works and doesn't have downsides.
That's the thing about naltrexone too, is that people, I think especially people who lose 100 pounds the hard way or quit drinking the hard way, there can be some resentment towards people who do things the easy way. Let's just make shit easier. Why not?
Also, what percentage of people can lose? Part of Helen's point is just like, it's so genetic, and there's so many people who don't have problems with their weight and who don't have like the constant food voice, which I have like right now.
Do you?
I'm just like terrified that I'll never get to eat again. And I went grocery shopping today.
Are there specific foods that you get the voice for?
I mean, you can probably guess, Katie. Just try to guess.
Does it start with a P?
Yeah.
Pussy.
Penis. Pussy. I constant food voice. I just need to eat pussy
all the time.
Jeez.
All the time. You're sort of a lesbian that way. Okay, let's move on. What are we talking about today?
Those have been my California adventures. But yes, thank you to Foo Camp, and it was very good to see Helen. Oh, and Helen and I did an event that I'm sure
How was the event?
I know some listeners right. It was good.
All right.
It was good. That's it. It was good. We talked a lot about California and about some people had questions about American politics, and I always had to defer to Helen because she follows American politics for a living, in fact.
Is she still in California?
She just left. You just missed her, Katie. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Too bad. I was going to suggest she come up here and visit me. Not you, just Helen.
There were so many British people at this conference. It was, and some of them were just downright adorable.
It's been fantasizing.
Anyway, that's another story. Today is going to be a trans-heavy episode. Your favorite?
Yes. All right. So fat trans, we got it.
Fat? How'd you get to fat trans?
Trans heavy.
Oh, trans fats. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you have written about this recently.
Surprisingly, in a major change of pace, I've written about trans stuff. Now, to be fair, give me the douche rating after this sentence. Well, I didn't choose to write about them, but I was approached by 2 different outlets to write about these issues.
Trans chose to write about you.
I didn't choose to write about trans. Trans chose to write about me. Yeah, so one of the pieces was in the Dispatch that was about the trans shooter meme, and the other one was in, there's no non-douchey way to say this, the New York Times.
Elon Musk, you're up there. Although Elon Musk would never publish in the New York Times. He's well beyond that. He would just do a thread on X that just said, Interesting. Why don't we talk about the Dispatch one first? Okay.
Yeah, so this was about the trans shooter thing, sort of critically evaluating this idea that there's some connection between being trans and killing people. And unfortunately, there are some recent examples of this. One was at Tumbler Ridge in British Columbia. And I'm sorry, I know this is a tragedy, but I can't stop thinking about that Tumblr whenever I hear Tumbler Ridge. Do you have that problem?
About Tumblr, like the website?
Yeah. Like a shooting at Tumbler Ridge keeps making me think of like Tumblr.
No, I don't have that.
It's not a problem for you. Okay. No. A 18-year-old male to female transitioner named Jesse Van Rutelstar, quote, shot and killed 8 people, ... her mother and half-brother at her home, and then 5 students and an educator at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School. Van Rutelstar was then found dead of what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound inside the school. Police confirmed that was from the site globalnews.ca. So soon after that, there was this horrific shooting at a hockey game in Rhode Island. That one involved a male to female transitioner who was exceptionally online and whose original name was Robert Dorgan, then Roberta Esposito.
So also transracial?
Also transracial.
It's like a Hilaria Baldwin situation.
Jessica La Bombalera. Well, we shouldn't laugh because this is horrible. This person opened fire on.
Do you think Jessica La Bombera? Do you think that she like moved to Kentucky or somewhere and changed her name to something really exotic like Barbara Smith?
You know what? I would like to think that, Katie. So this person, Robert Dorgan, Roberta Esposito, opened fire on family members at a hockey game, killing their ex-wife and son and injuring some other people.
And so Dorgan / Esposito was a right winger, was like a pro-Trumper, a groiper.
Groiper, appeared to be a groiper.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of online Kiwi Farms. This was one of those times where, like, unfortunately, they know what they're doing, and they were just turning up all this stuff about him. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Kiwi Farms, some website I won't name that I've never been to, is who did it.
All right. So you're using the male pronoun with.
I don't know.
I'm running up against this in an episode that's coming up. I mention in this soon to be episode Sarah Jane Baker. Do you know that name?
Jane Baker. No. Oh, I Googled and now I recognize this person. Yeah.
So this is a
this is a particularly unhinged British activist, right?
Well, activist who's also a felon. This is someone who, a male to female transitioner who was imprisoned for a long time, like over 30 years, initially for kidnapping and torture, later broke out of prison, and then transitioned in prison, cut off his own testicles with a razor, which honestly, like, kudos for the dedication there. That's not using taxpayer money. And then got out of prison and was rearrested for a parole violation after this person was like speaking at Trans Pride in London and like encouraged the crowd to punch TERFs. Anyway, I'm also running into this pronoun issue because I want to be consistent on this. And like in this case, we're talking about someone who literally a trans person who literally cut off his own dick with a razor blade. I do think that shows commitment. We're not talking about someone who, like a beardo who just like wants to opt out of male privilege.
Yeah.
But when someone has committed a violent crime, there's something about using female pronouns that it obfuscates reality, the reality of violence and the reality of the situation. So I don't know. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm struggling with it because I've always viewed this as like an etiquette and politeness thing. People like, I don't think people are, I really had a fair amount of people email me, and in one case at a conference when I gave a talk, they were upset that I use preferred pronouns. I don't think this is like an iron law of the universe. If you're talking about someone who committed a violent crime, especially in a case where like there's all sorts of legitimate reasons to provide their birth name, if only to like let people look them up and stuff. So I struggle with it too. Sex crimes, I'm just like, I can't, man. I'm sorry. Like I can't say she raped a woman with, like, I can't. Violent crime. Yeah. I feel similarly where like, it's sort of, violent crimes are so overwhelmingly perpetrated by men, and like with this hockey thing, unfortunately, like males killing their family members is not as rare as it should be. So I'm struggling. I don't know what to do. Yeah.
And people, anytime there's a crime like this where there's a trans perpetrator, like in the initial, for the Canadian attack, in the initial police reports or media reports, they referred to the shooter as like a woman wearing a dress, and people were absolutely incensed by that.
Wait, you're saying people were mad that they said woman in a dress instead of a trans woman?
No, and they wanted them to say man.
Oh, man.
And then also, but I think that was based on just like first reports. And then also some official used the term gun person rather than gun person. Gun person.
Instead of mailman. Male person,
gun person. Which I mean, I almost feel bad for whoever was tasked with like describing. Just say shooter.
Yeah. So when I was writing my dispatch piece, there were genuinely sentences that were hard to figure out how to do it because I did not want to say the Rhode Island person whose crimes I described in some detail was just I didn't know what to do. It's tricky. I will say
okay, wait. Let me just push you on this a little bit. Yeah. So why a harder time describing the Rhode Island shooter as she, her than the teenager in BC?
Oh, this was just I randomly spent more time, couple more sentences on the Rhode Island shooter.
Okay.
Was it?
It's not specific to that crime.
Well, I don't know. I mean, part of the problem here is, and we'll get to the actual argument about trans people and violence, which I'm very skeptical of, but there has been this spate of other high-profile ones, including, I think, the one in Tennessee involved a female who was...
Yeah, that one was way more rare because usually when there's a trans perpetrator, a trans shooter, it's a male. Well,
it's because usually when there's a violent act, it's a male. Yeah, right. So just in general, I find it weird because like these shootings do fit the most common pattern in terms of which sex perpetrates them, and to say otherwise, it feels weird. I can't tell you. Like,
and it's also true that when you are looking at, and you wrote a little bit about this in your dispatch piece, but when you're looking at who is victimized by violence, by gun deaths, for instance, the most common victims of gun violence are also male. And these,
I didn't mention that.
You didn't? Okay. Yeah, but it maps. So if you I looked into this a couple years ago. If you look into like HRC, this is the part that you did write about. You have groups like HRC that will claim that trans people experience way, way higher rates of victimhood, of murderization. What's the correct word here?
I think murderization is definitely it.
And if you actually look at the statistics, they're completely in line with the statistics of male victimization.
Yeah, and we're going to get to HRC in a minute. I just will say, like, I think part of the problem here is a lot of media outlets just sort of rolled over and basically will do, oftentimes are overly deferential toward trans activists because that's it. That's all you get. If you want to hear the whole thing, go to blotterreport.org and become a premium subscriber. Hope you enjoyed the preview. Bye.